This is terrifying. Hey, and welcome to Brit's How-Tos. This video is going to help you get a sturdy sculpture base by showing you ways to make sure your body is firm. Another thing we're going to cover is how to add limbs to your sculpture and see which technique best suits you. You're going to need a lot of newspaper. You're going to need wire cutters, and tape. Now, let's get into building a firm body. First, you're going to want to cut some wire and cover it in tape. So after wrapping our tape, we're going to start building. So you're going to want to grab your wire and newspaper and make sure you have tape strips ready. First, you're going to want to tape down the newspaper onto the tip of the wire, depending on where exactly you're starting to build from. And I like to wrap my newspaper around to help build up thickness and make sure you always tape down each end of the newspaper. So I'm just going to quickly build up a form, not exactly sure what I'm building up just yet. We'll see where my hands take me. Again, make sure to tape each ends of the paper, and as you can see, I'm checking for any weak spots. Obviously you can see that some spots were flimsy and still wiggly, and we don't want that. We want to avoid any flimsiness in our sculpture. So make sure you use tape to hold all the pieces of newspaper that you have together. Throughout the entire time of building, you're going to want to always make sure and check for any flimsy or weak spots on your sculpture, and always just use tape to hold it together. As you can see, I'm still checking for any flimsy spots. And what I'm going to do is, squish the newspaper together and then firmly slide your fingers down. And again, you're going to squish the newspaper together and firmly slide your fingers down. This is going to help with making sure your sculpture is firm and sturdy. So now we're going to move on to adding limbs. First, you're going to make sure the body is secure, like we should always do. And with the next wire, you're going to make a hook. Hook it around the first wire. Kind of narrow it down. And then once you attach it to the first wire, you're going to twist it like a twist tie. What things have twist ties? Bags of bread? Do bags of bread have twist ties? Anyways, after you twist it, you're going to use tape to secure it down. And it's okay if you use a lot of tape. Oh, look at that, I got a little itchy. So again, you're just going to use tape to secure the wire down. And one more time, we're going to add tape. And as you can see, I'm doing this squish and firmly slide method, squishing the newspaper and the wire together to make sure it's firm and not flimsy. Of course, it's going to be less flimsy once you start adding newspaper. like we're going to do now. So after we built up the first limb a little bit, we're going to go in and add the second limb. You're going to take a pen and poke a hole in between the first wire and the first limb, like so. Don't be afraid to go in deep. The deeper the hole, the more secure the wire will be. And again, tape is your best friend. So you're going to tape down the second limb. Taping down the wire from all directions will be helpful in making sure it stays secure. Another thing that will make it stay secure is building up. Once you start building up, your form is going to be held together by newspaper and tape. So don't worry if the wire isn't in the direction that you want it to be. It will be once you start building up. So, although I did not finish this wonderful thing in one sitting, just wanted to go back and review what we covered. So, firm body. It helps to wiggle, pinch, squeeze something together to see if, there is a flimsy or an insecurity within the base. And always just apply pressure when you're adding tape to help it be compact and firm, and that way you won't have a flimsy base. Adding limbs. As you noticed earlier, I added a limb at the base of the wire, and then I built up. So as you saw earlier, I poked a hole in between the two wires that I had already had that were from, the main part of the wire. And then I stuck the wire in as deep as I possibly could. That helps with making sure it doesn't fall out. You want it to go in as deep as it can so it doesn't fall out. And you always want to make sure you secure the opening to the hole and the wire together to just give it more security. And just having a lot of tape and using it calls for a very firm, sturdy sculpture. Alright, I gotta go figure out what this thing is gonna be.